World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, I am Peñano with today's World News in 5. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the Pentagon is ready to act on Iran if President Donald Trump orders it. Speaking during a cabinet meeting, Hegseth said the U.S. military stands prepared to carry out any decision aimed at preventing Tehran from developing nuclear weapons as American forces remain heavily positioned in the region. U.S. officials say President Trump is still weighing his options and has not approved military action. Tensions with Iran intensified following a recent crackdown on protests, though nationwide demonstrations have since eased. Trump has warned the U.S. would respond if Iran revives its nuclear program. In our news, New Zealand has declined an invitation from U.S. President Donald Trump to join his newly formed Board of Peace. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said the government decided not to participate in the body in its current form. The Board of Peace was launched last week, initially aimed at supporting the fragile ceasefire in Gaza with a possible broader global role. Several Middle Eastern countries and emerging nations have joined, but many Western allies remain cautious. Foreign Minister Winston Peters said New Zealand would add little value at this stage and stressed the need for clarity, noting the board's work should align with the United Nations Charter. In related news, Israel has returned the bodies of 15 Palestinians killed during the Gaza war, a move mediators hope will help advance the next phase of a fragile ceasefire agreement. The handover came days after Israel recovered the remains of its last hostage held in Gaza, closing out a key commitment under the first stage of the truce. The International Committee of the Red Cross said it facilitated the transfer, marking the end of months-long recovery efforts involving both Israeli hostages and Palestinian dead. While mediators push toward phase 2 of the deal, tensions remain high with renewed violence reported and major disagreements unresolved, including the future of Hamas and long-term security arrangements. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says he expects the United States to respect Canada's sovereignty amid reports of contacts between U.S. officials and Alberta separatists. Carney told reporters he has made that position clear to President Donald Trump, adding the issue of Alberta independence has never been raised directly with him. The remarks follow reports that U.S. officials met with a group seeking a referendum on Alberta's future. While Alberta's premier says she wants to remain part of Canada, tensions persist over federal policies and energy development. Carney suggested recent U.S. comments may be linked to an upcoming review of the North American Trade Pact. Burkina Faso's military government has dissolved all political parties, further consolidating its grip on power more than 3 years after a coup. The decision approved by the Council of Ministers also abolishes the legal framework governing party activity and financing. Interior Minister Emile Serbo said the move is aimed at rebuilding the state, arguing that the country's multi-party system had deepened divisions and weakened social cohesion. Before the takeover, Burkina Faso had more than 100 registered political parties. Their assets will now be transferred to the state as the country continues to battle Islamist insurgencies that have destabilized the region for years. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, I am Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.